Hey everyone, and welcome to the final Oaks countdown of the 2021 season. Nicole, Russo coming to you from Churchill Downs, joined by Illman in New York. The field has been established and post positions drawn for Friday's Kentucky Oaks. Let's take a look at that full field of 14 for Friday's Philly Classic. And Dan, I think this is just an outstanding group of fillies. You could make a case for so many of them, and we could very well go through this show without even mentioning the winner.
It certainly is an evenly matched field, and not only do we have some talented fillies, but some beautifully bred ones as well. Malathak, the 10, Travel Column, the 6, they're the deserving favorites, but how can you argue with Search Results, who's undefeated for Chad Brown with brilliant tactical speed, and Clairiere with that pedigree might get a great pace setup. Those are the major contenders, but by far from the only contenders.
Yeah, and it's such a deep and talented field. And you mentioned the pedigrees of some of these fillies. I've been joking this week that I do think that Barbara Banke's Stone Street Stables bred the winner of the Kentucky Oaks. We just don't know which one it's going to be. 2 fillies in here races Stone Street Homebreds, and there's another one that they bred and sold. So let's begin the discussion with that morning line favorite, Malathak, bred by Stone Street. Sold for 7 figures to Shadwell as a yearling. She's lived up to her price tag. She's perfect so far. Became a Grade 1 winner last out in the Ashland, which we'll watch here. Has a big, beautiful stride on her. And with the Ashland being only her first start of the year, I think she has room to improve off this race. A scary thought for the morning line favorite.
Oh, I think that's a correct assessment, to be sure. Malathak showed that she could handle the 9 furlongs as a lightly raced 2-year-old when she splashed through the slop to win the Demoiselle in a very impressive performance. It was a long-awaited seasonal debut last time out in the Ashland, and we saw her run down a very talented and speedy runner past the Champagne, who has price potential in the Oaks. She's one of the horses to beat, especially if the pace is fast. You know she'll come running late.
Absolutely. And one of the other Stone Street fillies in this race, the Curlin daughter, Clairiere, races as a homebred for Stone Street, and she is going to be my top selection in this Oaks. You'll see from our glimpse of her here from our Barbara Livingston, who is on the grounds at Churchill, that she just looks like she's thriving right now. Her coat is great. Her energy is great. She glides over this track. She and her arch rival Travel Column, who have traded decisions in Louisville and in New Orleans, both coming into this race in top form. They look great training here this week, and we've kind of discussed them throughout the season as perhaps the top fillies in this class, Dan.
And as of one of the top contenders in this race, she might offer the most value because I believe her form is dirtied up by circumstance. Last time out in the Fairgrounds Oaks, she dropped another decision to Travel Column, but I think she had the worst of it from a pace standpoint. It was a very moderate pace, and Travel Column, with her good tactical speed, was able to get close to that pace. Clairiere, on the other hand, doesn't have much early speed and was rated near the back of the pack. Clairiere, I thought, did very well to finish second. We saw what could happen when there is a fast pace with Clairiere and Travel Column. Clairiere can beat Travel Column. She did that in the Rachel Alexandra 2 starts back. And considering this pedigree by the great stamina stallion Curlin at a cavorting, a multiple Grade 1 winner, I would expect Clairiere to excel at the 9 furlong distance, and she is one of the better closers in this race.
Absolutely. And, you know, I said going into the Fairgrounds Oaks and their rubber match, hey, if you like Travel Column or Clairiere, I think there's no reason to get off either one of them with a good second or third here. Go ahead to the Oaks. They've just traded decisions. It's a great rivalry. And we might as well round out our discussion here of the Stone Street fillies with one that many feel is a live long shot, Paulines Pearl, another beautifully bred filly by Tappet out of Grade 1 winner Hot Dixie Chick, that mare a half to Derby winner Always Dreaming. She's made a steady progression and really broke through in the fantasy last out, which we'll watch here.
I do agree that she's a live long shot, and we talked about it last week on the Oaks Countdown. The fantasy was a race where I think she's beginning to learn to put horses away. She's getting to the front now, and she's eventually going to edge clear. Her race in the Honeybee 2 starts back, a little bit better than it looks on paper. It was a race in which she found some traffic while once again held up behind a slow pace. She angled to the inside and just couldn't catch Will's Secret, who got the jump on her. She is progressing with each and every start. She does have the beautiful pedigree, and she should be able to save valuable ground breaking from the inside post in a race with pace. Now, we're going to have to count on continued progression. She will need to improve as she steps up in class. This is the toughest field she's ever faced. I think she might be up to the challenge. I'm not sure we get the 20-1 that Mr. Battaglia set for her, but boy, she's going to be a very enticing price.
All right. Well, as you just said, the toughest field that any of them have ever faced, the Kentucky Oaks, this Friday evening at Churchill Downs. You'll be able to follow along live throughout the day on social media at DRF Inside Post and more. Check out at DRF Video for analysis and more from DRF TV. And keep an eye on DRF.com for previews and recaps of the stakes throughout the week here at Churchill Downs. Thanks for tuning in this season to the Oaks Countdown.